Hi Tarot Tribe. It's Jade here again with Tarot Your Truth. If this is your first time visiting me, then welcome. Anyone who is returning, welcome back. I am here again with another video response. I'm having a lot of fun doing these, so I really appreciate all the content creators and YouTubers who are putting these out and asking the questions. They're a lot of fun to do, good things to think about. And anyway, so this one here is, I think it's also an older one, but I saw it, it's been brought back by Indigo Moonwoman, Diane Jarecki. I think that's her last name. Sorry, Diane, if I mispronounced that. And this one is the How I Read Tarot by Shuffle Tarot. As I'm going through that, I'm just going to go through this deck. I made a deck modification. So this is the Spiral Tarot. This, I'll see if I can insert a photo of what it looked like originally, but it did have borders all around it. And I was really worried. It had these really ugly sort of marled purple, light lavender borders, and they just don't go with the rest of the cards. I didn't like it at all. So I was watching a video and I saw I didn't know how they would look if I cut the borders off. And in fact, I think I did one on one of the spare cards that came with this, and I noticed that if I trimmed it, the cards were not there. The backs were not totally centered. So you can see here that gold line plus has a little bit of blue on this side, and here the gold line is mostly gone. That is consistent from card to card, and so that was one of the reasons why I debated against trimming this. But those borders on the fronts just bothered me so much that I found that I wasn't reaching for this deck. I saw a video by Brian Cormac Carr, BCC, where he showed this deck trimmed, and I thought it was fabulous. So once I saw it, I thought, okay, that's it. I'm gonna do that. I really love how they turned out. What I don't love is that it's how small it is. So it's like the size of my palm, basically. It's turned into a mini deck. The cards were fairly small to begin with, so cutting off those borders chopped off about another, I guess almost about half an inch, 10 millimeters or so, 10, 12. So that part I'm not crazy about. I wish the publisher would come out with a version that was bigger and without the borders. That would be fabulous, but that's okay. I also took the opportunity to edge it. So edged it in a blue. It's looking very similar to the blue that's on here. It's close. The side looks more green because of that gold edge right along the side. But let's see here there we go. Anyway, so as I go through this hashtag, I'll just flip through this to show you the beautiful photos. Actually, let's see if I can do this. Okay, so again, this is How I Read Tarot, the tag by Shuffle Tarot. The first question is, so there's a series of 6 plus a bonus, I guess, if you want it. The first question is there any prep or rituals involved? Nope, not really. I tend to just, well, okay, that's maybe a lie. A very small ritual, I think, that I have discovered to be very beneficial for me is just before I start shuffling the cards and thinking about the question, is just to take a 5 to 10 second break and just take a few deep breaths to sort of get into that more meditative state of mind, and sort of ask for guidance and protection and blessings, and to stay in my higher self so that I can receive the messages clearly. So that doesn't take very long, like I said, maybe 10 or 15 seconds, and then I'm in the proper frame of mind to concentrate on just the question. It clears my mind of other things that may be going on, maybe the laundry or the kids freaking out or something. And that's it. The second question is, do you have a certain style or layout for reading cards? I really enjoy... Oh, that is quite an interesting devil. Sorry, squirrel. I really enjoy doing different spreads. I don't like to do the same spread over and over and over again. I get bored, and I love variety, and I love trying different things. Now, one of the ones I tend to do is, or that I find quite very useful, and I do find myself returning to time and again, is the 3-card spread. So, this can really vary depending on the question, right? So it could be past, present, future. It could be body, mind, spirit. It could be, your needs, my needs. How do we bridge, or what's in common? I find this 3-card spread to be just such a powerful way of doing tarot and giving you the information that you need. So I do that, but I do also very much like having some advice, on what to do or what not, and what not to do. So I tend to add an extra card for do this, don't do this. And like I said, I do find myself going back to that one over and over. By trying all these different spreads, I've found some that I do come back to over and over, and that I find useful for different things. So I tend to do that. Let's turn this around. Okay. The third question is, what kinds of cards and decks do you like to use? I love tarot decks of all kinds. I really love, these more RWS based decks, not necessarily clones, but just based on that system, and the Marseille style as well. I've been really enjoying. I do have a Thoth deck, and I want to work with that at some point as well. I really like this Lover's card. It's very interesting. I never noticed this, but he has a sun and she has a moon on her arm. Interesting. And I like all kinds. I like all kinds of things. My current crush is the more ancient Italian style decks, but I love all kinds. The Crow Tarot is another favorite. Game of Thrones is another huge favorite. The Tarot Muha, the Hidden Realms, the mystical manga that I just got. I've been having a lot of fun with. So I don't have one particular style. And I do have a couple of oracle decks as well, I don't tend to reach for those nearly as much. Question 4. Do you use crystals, runes, or any other tools during your readings? No. I shouldn't say that. I do tend to have crystals around me. I'm either wearing a bracelet or I have a couple of crystals on the table for different things. Sometimes just because they look pretty, I want to take a nice picture, and most of the time I do have them on the tarot cloth with me, and I'll use different ones depending on what the reading is about. But that's about it. Like I said, I do have a set of runes that came with a bundle that I had purchased, but I haven't gotten into them yet. I think, just one thing at a time. Okay, question 5. Do you close your readings in a certain way? Not so much. I mean, as I said, I open the readings sort of by just, sort of getting into that mind space, doing a little bit of meditation for a few minutes, and then proceeding to ask for assistance or blessings or protection or guidance. And I go through the reading, and when I'm done with the reading, I tend to just go back into that semi-meditative state, I guess. And I really like this star. And say thank you. And I tend to put the cards back into the deck at different spots. So I make sure that I'm not going to get a clumpiness. I'll sort of do this. So that I'm not, in my next reading, if I don't shuffle as well as I should, I'll end up with the same clump. I don't want that. And just shuffle them and put them back. And that is about, and like I said, say thank you, and that's about it. The 6th question is, who do you do readings for? Mostly myself. I have done readings for some of my family members, and I've done readings for one friend. Sort of pushed into that one, but anyway, but that's about it. I do find it slightly different to do readings for others than myself, because when I do a reading, I like to just kind of sit and look at the different cards. When you first lay them out, I may not necessarily have a good grasp right away as to which way the reading is going. So I like to kind of just sit and look at it, and then take it card by card and sort of work through what the meanings are. And I do find that works very, very, very well for me. Whereas when there's someone sitting there, I find it a bit more difficult, because I'm trying to push my brain into moving a little bit faster. And I'm just a beginner, right? I only started a few months ago, so. And that is, that's it. The last question was kind of a bonus question. Is there anything else that is important to you? I guess the only other thing that would be important to me is that people approach this respectfully, and hopefully that the space is cleansed. I didn't mention this before, but before I start the readings, I may sage cleanse the space, and light some incense, just to sort of get me further into the correct mindset. But that is about it. I don't have a ton of rituals or anything like that that's important. So anyway, thank you so much to Shuffle Tarot and also to Indigo Moonwoman for reviving this tag. I've had a lot of fun. I really enjoy watching people's responses, and when this one originally came around, I wasn't into tarot yet, never mind making videos. So I really appreciate the opportunity, and thank you so much for watching. Until the next time, my friends, tarot your truth.